All right, it's bottling time. So I'm bottling 3 different sodas in this video. I'm gonna walk you through each one of those. But before I do, I'll mention that I've got my ginger bug here. And the way that I started my ginger bug is I just take about 2 cubic inches of ginger and chop those up, and 2 cups of water and 2 tablespoons of sugar. And that's your start. Put that in a jar, a sealed jar, put it in your pantry, and then each day feed it another cubic inch of chopped ginger and another tablespoon of sugar. I'll actually show it to you real quick here. So there are a couple of things to know about it. You want to keep the skin on, so don't bother skinning it. Personally, I chop off any parts that look like they've sort of like dried out a little bit, but leave the skin on in general, and chop them into, like, I don't know, maybe 1/4 to 1/2 inch sized pieces. And when you open it, it should smell gingery and fresh. It actually smells really good, and it'll also fizz a little bit when you open it. So it took me about 5 days to get it to the point where it was truly fizzing actively when I'd open up the top of the jar. So you might have to play around with that a little bit. But basically expect to feed it for at least 5 days, and then you should have an active ginger bug that you can make sodas with. So this is my active ginger bug, and I'm gonna basically measure this out into equal parts into my different sodas. And I'm gonna start with the lime. So let me grab a jar here. So go ahead and put the lime in here. Now, something like lime and even orange juice, you want to mix with some water to sort of cut down the acidity of the citric acid. So I have the juice from four limes here. The rest is going to be water, and it's going to need a good amount of sugar because it's not super sweet for the ginger bug to feed on. So I'm going to add in some sugar and water, and then my ginger bug, make sure I mix it up. So I'm going to actually do like 1, 2, 3, 4 tablespoons of sugar. We'll add in the ginger bug. And I want to split this between these basically evenly, so a little more. 2/3. There we go. And the rest will be water. And we want to make sure that sugar dissolves. So we can give this a stir, a couple of stirs as we go. While we're kind of letting that dissolve, I'll mention that the other bottle that I'm doing is root beer. And I actually have I actually have this tea that I found on Amazon that's root beer flavored. And it really smells nice and root beery, if that's a word, if you open up and smell it. And when it's steeped, it's even more like root beer. Now I steeped it, I brought it to a boil and then simmered it for 20 minutes there to get this. And then strained this out using just like a little tea strainer. Now the other thing I'll mention even about the lime juice is this was strained as well. So I'm straining all the juices I use to get rid of any excess like pulp or particulate that could cause it to, sort of oxidize, float to the top, and maybe start rotting or anything like that. We don't want anything like that happening. So while we're waiting on that, let's get started on the root beer, which is also going to need sugar. I'm going to do 5 tablespoons of sugar in this. because unlike with the lime mixture, there's no natural sugars already in here. So I want to make sure that the ginger bug has plenty of sugar to feed on. And we're gonna pour in, again, about 1/3 of a cup of ginger bug. And we'll want to mix that up too. And then we're gonna work on our orange mixture as well. I gotta grab a couple more spoons. Just for mixing. I don't want to cross-contaminate these. All right, so we've got our orange. I'm gonna add some water to it. Cut down on that acidity as well. Hopefully that's not too much. And we're gonna do some sugar in here as well. We'll do just 3 tablespoons of sugar in the orange because the orange juice already has a good amount of sugar for the ginger bug to feed on. The rest of our ginger bug in here. And mix this up. Start clearing up space here. All right, so we got our orange. It doesn't look orange. Something with this lighting, but it looks orange to me. I don't know why the camera makes it look like it's pink. And a root beer. And our lime. We have a funnel to use here, so we're gonna funnel these into stopper bottles. Once I'm convinced that the sugar is dissolved in these, which is not yet dissolved. It always takes longer to dissolve sugar in water than you'd think. Smells good. All right. Now let's bottle it. All right, orange first. All right. Rinse this off. So that's our orange. Now for root beer. One more mix just for good measure. I'll pour this in here. So actually realized I could have probably put a little more in some of these. But now we'll use our stopper top on the orange. And, you know, I've heard that you need to just make sure you have some space up here. Hopefully I don't have too much space here, but we'll see. And there's root beer. Let's this off here. Now for our lime. All right. All right, and there's our lime. So now the assignment is for these. We've got our root beer, lime, orange, and we're gonna basically just burp these probably every morning and every night, just to make sure these bottles don't explode as they ferment. So we'll check back in once they're ready, so stay tuned for that.